We saw from Home Organic, that awesome concrete planter. So, folks, we've decided to make one exactly like that. The trick is, though, you've got to get your measurements really, really right. So what we've done is we've done most of the cutting work just to make it a bit easier. What we have now is a flat piece of shutter board, and we have 4 components on it, which is marked out, ready to throw our concrete slab. And this is how it goes. This is one of the side panels. This is the other side panel. 2 longer ones, 1, 2, and basically when we put these together, it will make the rectangle, which is the base of our planter. The sizes that we've gone for, 500 high, 800 wide, exactly the same on this side because we need the same, 500 by 800. The 2 longer ones, all we've done is increased the length. So this is 1.1, so 1 meter 100, and exactly the same here. All we got to do now is drill them into place. Final prep that we need to do is, because these slabs are so long, I want to make sure that they're going to stay in place and there are going to be no cracks. So Garth has cut a bit of this stuff. This meshing is basically your reinforcing. The way that you work is you put your first layer of concrete, put it down, and then your second layer, so it stays niched and knitted. All in between just gives you extra strength. Fantastico. Now that we've prepped the rectangle, which is the base, the last thing we need to prep is the top, so that when we mix our concrete, we can throw the whole lot in and have the same consistency. So we've already cut our pieces of pine. The height is 760, all right? And the length is 1140. Garth, all we got to do now is just get these guys in place and make sure they're at the right angles. Now that we've got the outside perimeters nice and secure, what we need is a piece of polystyrene. All right, so we put our piece of polystyrene down here. We're going to turn it upside down, put it down just like that. All right, we just take our pencil. You got it there for me, Garth. Right, all the way around. So take it off. Let's have a look here. Measurements of this guy, 60 by 38. You can buy any tub. What is important is that you drill some holes in it, because this is going to be your planter. Now, if you had to cut this mold out for this size, this guy would fall straight through. So all we need to do at this point, take a look. Let's just measure what that distance is to the base. So it needs a lip so that it can hang onto the edge of your concrete. That is 2.5 centimeters. So all we need to do now, measure 2.5 centimeters in. That's it, Garth. All the way around, 2.5. That's the one, and of course, one more at the top. And then we create a new line, and that is going to be our cutting line, which is going to form the mold inside our boxing. Lovely. We've got to make 2 of these, obviously, because we want 2 of the planters to be able to use in our boxing. Okay, and then this guy is going to go here. This guy is going to go here. We spoke about the meshing, so this is the other example. And then we've got to get some binding wire, is that right? And we're just going to bind it together. I imagine just underneath it and cross it over, Garth.
That's all it is, Tanya.
So we're good to go. This is all set. All we need to do now, Garth, is go and get our mixture ready. That's correct, yeah. Let's go and sort this out. Folks, for this mixture, we're using 2 parts of river sand to 1 part of stone and 1 part of cement. Remember, this is quite a big project, so you're probably going to go through a pocket of cement for this exercise. Right, Garth? Okay, so 2 volumes, which means, in our case, it's 1 bucket load, which means that the stone is going to be half a bucket. In it goes. Great. And because this is quite we need it to be quite strong, we're going with the bigger stone, which is the 19mm stone, and then 1 part of cement, which in our case is going to be half a bucket. Excellent stuff. Right, let's get this guy mixed, Garth. Let's pop in some water. Nice, look at that. Nice mixture that basically can still flow. Not too wet, you can't see the water, it's mixed together well. That's the consistency we want. We now have this in place. We've got our concrete mixture and we are ready to throw it. Remembering, putting these guys in place is dead important. As you're putting your first bit of mixture down, just hold it in place and then take it and just pop it down and do that all the way around it so you can just get it sturdy. In place,
yep,
these oakies are not going to move. We take
this out.
Our 6mm bar, which we've already meshed together, and we just pop them in here. You push it down, not right down to the surface. You just want to firm it down. Now we just literally go ahead, filling up this boarding with our mixture and getting it all level. Garth, let's go and hit those other 4. Folks, same as before, what you need to do is lift up your BRC meshing, throw down a bit, thanks Garth, that's the one. Spread it out about halfway, that's all that we need, just so that your meshing has something to lean on. Excellent, just like that, and then away we go. Right, folks, we're nearly finishing off here. This is the last little corner that I've got to do. While I'm finishing off here, Garth is just busy floating it with a plastic trowel, getting it nice and smooth, and that's our final touch. Once we finish here, all we do is leave it to dry for a maximum of 5 days. When the concrete changes color, that's when you know, and it even starts pulling away from the sides, then you know it's dry and good to go. These are the slabs that we made 5 days earlier, and what we've done is we've left them here. They're dry enough. You can see that it's changed color, and all we're going to do now is start removing the outside edging, which has made our actual boxing. That's it. Cool. So let's get the rest of these guys off, Garth, and we're going to do exactly the same on the other 4 pieces, which are, remember, the sides. It's the 2 sides, the 2 longer edges and the 2 smaller edges. We're just going to remove all the boxing, and then we're going to show you how to put it all together. Right, folks, so all our 4 pieces are now standing upright. Please note that the sides fit onto it like that. Next up, Garth's got a drill ready, and we're going to drill some holes through here right into this section, which we're then going to take a bolt. We cut off the top of it so that we can then use this to embed into here to make sure that we can join them together. I've mixed a bit of epoxy according to the instructions. Get epoxy from your local hardware store. Just take your thread and twist it round almost like it was chocolate. And there we go, that should be more than enough. And you take that and then pop it straight into the hole that you've drilled. It's nice and secure. You then take the nut and you just attach it to it. And when it gets to the tight point, take a spanner and just make sure that it's nice and secure. When you've done that, you'll know that your entire base is fastened nice and securely, and you can go ahead and work with the top. All right, folks, final bit. Do you remember these green tubs that we started off right in the beginning? Well, this is the part. Slip them into their place, into position, and now all that's left to do is plant them up. We've got our herb planter in the location where we want to plant it up, and this is where it's going to be living. Garth, I see you've changed.
Yeah, I got a little bit dirty, Tanya. A bit of hard work.
That's what happens in gardening.
Yep.
Alrighty, folks, most importantly, what we need to do is make sure we've got good potting soil inside here. Don't use garden soil, please, because generally you're going to bring all the weeds, all the nonsense with it, so just get good potting soil from your local garden centre. Only fill it halfway. And then to give it an extra bit of a boost, we've got some gorgeous bone meal. Now, I've got dogs at home, and yeah, this is in my garden now, but I'm safe to use bone meal now because it's above the ground. All right, that should do, Garth.
Yep.
I've popped along to the garden centre and I've got a few nice herbs. This is pineapple sage. And remember, when you're taking plants out of their containers, give them a squeeze. Give them a squeeze. Do that. Fingers in, turn it over, and bang, out it comes. As easy as that. Right. Okie dokie. All right, we've got some gorgeous thyme. I've got some lovely rocket here. Now this little oak, this is something fun. This is oxalis. Now many of you might be saying, my goodness, Tanya, I'm sure this is a weed. Well, you do have a weed that looks similar to this that does grow in your lawn, but this is one of the hybrids. Known as the sour plant. Great medicinal properties, beautiful flowers. The other thing is that you must remember that they come up in winter, they die back in summer. So remember where you've planted them in your garden or your herb box, because when you go planting something else on top of it, well, you know what's going to happen. You might lose it. And last of all, every little herb and veggie planter needs a couple of perpetual lettuce. Remember, perpetual meaning that they'll go on and on and on. One little lettuce plant will last you for at least 3 months in the garden. You don't need to wait for it to create a head. As you're needing lettuce leaves, you just pick them from the outside. The more you pick from the outside, the more it grows. Well, folks, I hope that you've been inspired to see how easy it is to incorporate concrete into your garden. And look at this cool thing we made. Planted it up with veggies and away you go. Of course, it all started with that beautiful veggie garden at Grand Designs with the little potager, the table and chair. Who doesn't want that in their garden?